Hey guys, happy holiday. This is Neil coming at you. The reason I'm sending this video is I actually sent you one of these guys, and I wanted to share a recipe that I've been known to make and people really enjoy. They're called reindeer ribs, and I'll tell you why they're called reindeer ribs. They're not reindeer per se, they're actually baby back ribs. But what I do is with a couple of rubs here, I'm able to make ribs that are not just good when you make them, but the next day they're good cold. So that's why they're called reindeer ribs, okay? But anyway, I'm going to kind of show you how we can use some of the stuff in here to make those ribs. So the first thing that I've got here, I've got 3 racks of baby back ribs. And a lot of people don't know this, but on the back of ribs there's a skin that can easily be removed. And what this does is it makes them very, very tender, avoids any kind of chewiness that you might get. So actually all you need to do is just use your fingers and start by pulling that skin off. And if you do it carefully and gently, it can usually just come off really easy in one piece, just like this. And this to me makes a big difference than just kind of getting ribs and cooking them with this skin on. So this will kind of save you a little bit of embarrassment by chewy ribs. So that's my second rack right here, and I'm going to go ahead and do the last little bit of skin on this third guy. You can see that just comes right off. Sometimes you got to use a knife maybe and kind of get it started, but these have been pretty easy so far. So I've got my 3 racks here, and you might say, hey Neil, 3 racks of ribs, that's a lot of ribs. But as you guys have heard me say before, go big or go home, right? So we're going to make plenty of ribs. And remember, the idea is that you have some leftovers and they're good the next day, even just eating them cold. So now back to what you've got here from Penzeys. So Penzeys is a Midwest spice purveyor, and one of the things that I like about Penzeys is that they don't use a lot of salt in their rubs, and they don't use preservatives either, right? So not a lot of monosodium glutamate and xanthan gum and all that crazy stuff that you'll find in a lot of different rubs. So I'm actually going to be using this one. It's called Barbecue 3000. And you can mix it with the Galena rub if you want, any of the other spices in there, but this is the one that I'm going to use for the reindeer ribs. And again, go big or go home is the name of the game here. So these have all been kind of patted down. There's a little bit of moisture on them, which is good. And I'm just going to hit them front and back with the rub. So take a few minutes and, be liberal with it, because in the way I'm going to prepare these, I'm not going to use a sauce until after they come off the grill. So really hit them good with the Barbecue 3000. And here's a little, don't be afraid to kind of use your hands and work it into the tissue a little bit. That always helps. And then of course you want to hit the backside here with a lot of this good stuff. Neil, why are we making ribs in December? Well, even when it gets cold here and we get snow on the ground, it doesn't stop us from firing up the grill and enjoying some fine meat with a little bit of charcoal taste to it, right? So I'll flip this one over and do the same. So this is probably one of the things I'm most known for, are the way that I cook the ribs. And in the summertime I'll make these probably, I don't know, maybe a couple times a month. And I usually make a pretty big quantity of them. And in my mind, you can't really use too much of this. It adds a lot of flavor here. So, and in some cases, you know, I've mixed the Galena rub, and I've mixed the Barbecue 3000. But when you look at this, this has all kinds of good stuff: salt, paprika, black pepper, nutmeg, mustard, allspice, citric acid, garlic powder, ginger, sage, thyme, white pepper, cinnamon, and natural smoke flavor. And we're almost done here. Now, one of the things, I cook with charcoal. I'm a big fan of that over using propane, but you should be able to do this with propane. The rule here is when cooking, at least for me, it's low and slow with moisture control. I'll say that one more time for you in the cheaper seats. It's low and slow with moisture control. I'm basically going to smoke these using my charcoal grill. Again, just kind of rub that into the meat, make sure that it gets into the tissue. All right, quick wash up here. And now I cut these up into 2 bones when I put them on the grill, and this will help me to move them around, and basically just take a sharp knife, flip them over, and just run them right between the bones. And then this becomes pretty straightforward and easy. So if you're a big football fan and you like watching the game, these are actually great to do on Saturday. And then because they're reindeer ribs and they're really good when they're cold the next day, you put these out on the table in front of the game and dip them in a little bit of barbecue sauce, and I guarantee people will be talking about it the whole season long. So, and you know, when we talk about sauce, I'm a big advocate that you don't put sauce on these things really until you're ready to serve them. If you put them on the grill with sauce on them, the sauce will burn. You'll have a tough time getting the ribs to be tender and moist without being overly, you know, burnt up and crunchy from the sauce that went on. And I'll whack these up into 2 little guys. Now, like I said, go big or go home, right? So just, if you want to even give them a little bit of a dash so you get some of the meat parts on the side, go ahead and do that. Now here's one secret, okay? And that is a little bit of citrus juice. And I'm going to do a little orange here on these. Go a long way to kind of just giving it a little bit of a sweet with the spice that's going on here. Also moisture, right? Moisture is key. Alright guys, so that's part 1. We've got our reindeer ribs, they're ready to go, and now I'm going to start and make the fire and get that going the way I want it. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so here we are, we're getting ready with our fire. just kind of want to show you how I make these. So what I've got is, this is just a Weber grill, charcoal. And I start with a little bit of charcoal, and then I add a little bit of apple wood in there. And that's just going to help to kind of smoke it the way that we want it to. And we're going to probably do this for 4 or 6 hours, but small fire off to one side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the ribs on the other side of the grill. I'll show you that in a little bit too, okay? All right, here we are. We're in the Great White North, and we are grilling reindeer ribs. So let's get these guys, let's get them on the grill now. Kind of show you what I got. A little bit of a fire going here. Notice I made that over on one side, and then what I'm going to do is basically throw the meat over here and just kind of stack it. So I'll kind of show you how this will look. This would be nice to have a GoPro helmet, wouldn't it? Just keep it on one side, so essentially we're going to be smoking most of this. Let Barbecue 3000 do its work. And then this will probably be, I'm going to shoot for 4 hours. And then we'll just let this slow cook. And I'll come out here periodically and just kind of turn these over. So with that, put on the top and let her cook. Cook away, baby. Alright guys, so this is called staying warm. But let's check out how our ribs are doing. It's actually 4 degrees right now, as you can probably tell by my breath. But let's take a look and see where we are with the ribs. Nice fire, nice and cool, getting a nice temperature around 200 right now on those ribs, which is going to be perfect for us. Okay, so I'm thinking probably in 2 hours I'm going to come back and I'm going to rearrange them, kind of restack them, and then they'll be good. We'll talk to you then. We're going to check out those ribs and just see how they are doing. See, we still got a good smoke going on here. It's about an hour and a half since we put them on. Let's go ahead and take a peek. Oh yeah, that's a nice little smoke we got going on there. You can see the fire's died down, but we still got some good heat coming out of it. And these are basting very nicely. So I'm just going to take what was on the top, put it to the bottom, and vice versa. Call this elevatoring the meat. And if at this point your fire dies down to a certain point, you want to put some more charcoal on it, up it a little bit, you can do that as well, which I might throw a little more wood on. So, and this is this will help to baste and keep it moist. Just elevator this. Grab some of these underdone pieces. And I will just grab some of my secret little applewood stash, which is getting down there. We got just a little bit left. So we'll go ahead and just throw what we got left on there. Let it heat up a little bit. Fantastic. We will let that keep doing its magic. Alright guys, so it's been about 5.5 to 6 hours, and I've pulled off the reindeer ribs. These are complete with the Barbecue 3000, which you guys have. And as I said, I whacked them up into 2 bones, so I'm just going to take one right now just to sample. Like I said, these are going to be outstanding right now, but they're going to be even better when they're cold. You can see my little Oli monster in the background is already hot to trot with these, but they're juicy, moist, and they've got that flavor of the rub on there. Enjoy those with your best sides, your best beverage. And I'd just like to say happy holidays and have a great new year. We'll talk to you then. Take care. Bye.